Hey folks, whilst we patiently wait for the next installment to the Legend of Zelda series, the highly anticipated sequel to Breath of the Wild, there are only so many things that us creators can cover. Most big, super interesting mysteries and whatnot have already been covered. Sure, things occasionally pop up or get discovered, but we're limited to the more creative ideas, opinion-based videos, non-Zelda content if you will, and or anything else outside of lore and theories. In my noble quest to keep the channel running until the sequel really picks up in terms of making content, I thought it would be fun to go over 5 interesting NPCs that you can find in Breath of the Wild. I am a very big fan of the NPCs in this game. It's the first time in the Zelda series that the NPCs have felt, well, real. They react to things like the weather, what Link's doing, and just generally have a lot more depth. Being the biggest game in the series, there are a lot of NPCs, from travelers to settlers. Let's take a look at 5 incredibly interesting NPCs that you might have not met on your journey across Hyrule. Even if you have, maybe you didn't get the full interaction experience, or maybe you're new to the game and are interested. Whatever the case may be, I'm sure there is some value in this video for you. And for your viewing pleasure, there are timestamps to skip ahead if you know everything about one of my picks, but watching all throughout is highly appreciated. Anyway, be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. Also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, it really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one. Kicking off our list takes us to Proxim Bridge of the West Necluda region. Here we can meet a bridge guard by the name of Brigo. He keeps watch over this bridge that provides access over the Hyrule River. I'm sure many of you know why this man is on my list, but I'm sure an equal amount of you don't. Brigo is in many players' first playthrough of the game, one of, if not the first NPC they'll come across following the Great Plateau, and depending on how you interact with him, you may discover some secret dialogue. At first he seems like a nice friendly guard. He explains to Link that he guards the bridge due to the high population of monsters in the area, a man of the people, risking his life to provide safe passage for the many lone wanderers of Hyrule. What a person. Now, this is where some players just continue on down the path to get to Kakariko Village. However, if you feel like taking a little dip in the Hyrule River and jump up on the ledge of the bridge, Brigo will kinda get the wrong idea, but in a very good, wholesome and caring way towards Link. What happens is, he'll quickly say to Link, "Wait a minute. Please, think about what you're doing. You won't change the world by jumping carelessly to your doom, don't you know? That would only do one thing, and that's drive me batty. Seriously, think of the shock I'd suffer seeing something like that. You're fine, just don't be so careless. There are too many enjoyable things in the world to gamble with your life. And also, man, don't ever do something like that again. Got it? You almost gave me a heart attack. Seriously, I'll stay here and chat with you for a bit if you'd like." When I first saw this interaction, I was smiling like crazy. This is such an amazing thing to be added in by the developers. Not only does it make random NPCs like him more real and full of life, but this one sends a genuine message. I love Brigo and his care for passing by travelers, rightfully earning him a spot on this list. Moving further east to the Hylian haven of Etenno Village, we can meet an elderly lady by the name of Uma. Now I've discussed her in a previous video that I did with Hylian Luke, but Uma is so cool that she deserves another mention. During the day, unless it's raining, Uma can be found sitting on this stool in Etenno Village, just beside the local inn. Being one of the oldest Hylians alive, surely she knows a thing or two of the land's history. If we ask her about her time in Hyrule, she tells Link that while she didn't experience the calamity itself, she grew up in an age referred to as the Age of Burning Fields. We can learn some pretty interesting stuff about Hyrule's history soon after the devastating Great Calamity, information not found anywhere else in the game. Uma is our gossip girl. Anyway, she'll tell Link that in the early days, Etenno wasn't the nice farming settlement it is now. Apparently, that didn't come until more and more people came to the village, despite it already being an establishment pre-calamity. If Link asks more, Uma will expand on this and more, telling Link that the people and plants of Hyrule had to recover, likely because of what went on not far from the village at Fort Etenno. She also tells Link about how bad Central Hyrule truly was following the devastating destruction of the region. We can hear a bit or two about how Castletown was bustling with people, culture, and just general life, also noting that the castle and town's current state depresses her. If you've never talked to Uma, please go do it next time you're playing Breath of the Wild. You'll find her right here during the day, or in the evening in her home just around the corner. She's full of very interesting knowledge about Hyrule not long after the calamity. Still in the West Necluda region somehow. This place must be a goldmine for interesting NPCs. This pick takes us to the Julian Peak stable, next to, well, you guessed it, the Julian Peaks. Hino is a very famous character nowadays, and it's for that reason that I've included him. If you weren't aware, Hino is a bit of an expert when it comes to the moon and its many cycles. This includes his specialty, the famous blood moon that happens every once in a while, resetting all enemies and evil whatnot across Hyrule due to the powerful malice influence of Calamity Ganon. Although he doesn't know that. He just has a good sense for when it's coming. Now, what makes him interesting is how he acts on the night of a blood moon. It's not interesting, it's interesting. I think this can be best explained by simply showing you. Yeah. Now do you see why I've included this? Well, as my good friend Rick RMFH put it, lunatic, check out his video by the way, on my list. Hino turns into a bit of a lunatic when the blood moon is present, and says some rather interesting things. It's almost as if he is possessed by the blood moon, which, if true, would mean he is part monster blood. The whole reason this moon resurrects the fallen monsters of the land is because of their blood connection to the malice. Is Hino part monster blood, or just freakishly obsessed? Who knows? Regardless, he's one heck of an interesting guy. Finally moving out of West Necluda, we travel to the edge of the lake region, right beside the cliffs that contain the Gerudo Desert. Next to the Ishito-So shrine, we can meet a woman by the name of Moza, a cook in training. Before even reaching this cook, we know she's up here due to what from a distance appears to be a smoke signal. Oh no, could somebody be in trouble? I better climb these massive cliffs to find out and help them. Oh, it's just the terrible cook. Oh well, might as well talk to her. Anyway, Moza lives in a pile of trash, essentially. The remains of her attempted meals. She cooks trash and doesn't even know it. When Link talks to her, she'll explain that she lives up here in isolation to dedicate all of her time to mastering cooking, but judging by her current meal, and all of the past attempts around us, it's not going too great. However, where this gets interesting is in her denial, because hey, being bad at something isn't actually a bad thing. Everybody starts somewhere and needs practice to get good. What is bad is failing to admit that you need to improve and or work on some stuff. Moza talks a big game, but when telling Link about her recipes, she'll always end with an odd special ingredient such as ore or monster parts, resulting in the meal becoming dubious food. Now, looking around, Moza isn't eating any of this, knowing it's trash, but evident by Link's conversation with her, she can't admit it. What makes Moza interesting to me is how bizarre a find she is to a fresh player, exploring Hyrule for the first time and coming across this dumb and horrible cook, to then discover that she thinks she's good. I'm sure Moza will get there someday, perhaps in the sequel she'll have a successful restaurant, but for now she remains as one pretty interesting NPC that I highly recommend talking to on your adventure. You'll get a laugh out of it. Before getting to my final pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Magda, or better known by fans as Flower Blight from Central Hyrule, the flower-obsessed lady who will absolutely annihilate Link if he touches her flowers. Nell of the Akala region, a lone traveller looking to honour his next of kin who fell at the Citadel long ago. And adventurer siblings Mina and Mills, because they're pretty cool. My final pick of the day is actually going out to two different NPCs, and I'll explain why shortly. Both Dato of the Elden region, and Botrick of the Central Hyrule region. If you know, you know. If not, then allow me to explain. Both of these characters are tributes to real life people. Whilst not explicitly stated, to my knowledge, it's pretty clear and accepted among fans. Starting with Dato, he can be found walking around the Maw of Death Mountain, as well as the Foothill Stable. Dato is a reference to famous and beloved actor Robin Williams, who is sadly no longer with us. He was a known Zelda fan, so much so that his daughter is named after Princess Zelda, Zelda Williams. Robin himself even did a TV ad for Ocarina of Time 3D. It's super nice and just really fitting to see such an icon an icon who was a Zelda fan referenced in the game, immortalized if you will. The other half of this pick goes to Botrick, who's a reference to the late Mr. Satoru Iwata. I'm not the best at names, I'm really sorry. A former president of Nintendo, this man played a huge role in the creation of Breath of the Wild. That's playing a role in what shaped the huge Nintendo comeback following the decline of the Wii U. He sadly passed away in July of 2015, before the Switch and Breath of the Wild were ever released. Iwata was a beloved man at Nintendo, and like Robin Williams, was referenced in the form of his own character in Breath of the Wild, immortalized. However, there is a bit more to his character. Botrick can actually tell Link a little bit about a local landmark, Satori Mountain. Off the bat, this is another reference. Satori? Satoru. The mountain also is home to the Lord of the Mountain, a spiritual horse that looks over the mountain and cares for the animals and life around it. This is sort of symbolic, a really touching tribute to Iwata. I originally had both of these characters noted down as separate picks for this video, but ultimately it didn't feel right for either to miss out on the number 1 spot or for one to be in the honourable mentions, so I put them together. Two very touching tributes and a very nice touch of class from Nintendo there. And that's all for today. If you haven't come across or interacted with any of these NPCs, go do it next time you're playing. If you're a long time viewer, you might know that I did a very similar video to this a couple of years ago with another Zelda creator, Hyrule and Luke. This video is nothing against that, I just really wanted to do another as I feel I've changed a fair bit as a creator since then. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But for now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night, and now, roll in the outro. Thanks a ton for watching, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. If you haven't already, be sure to hop in our Discord server through the link below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram to keep up to date, and as always, a huge special thank you goes out to all of my supporters across Patreon and YouTube, with a very special shout out going to new supporter, Tyrell. Thanks a bunch for supporting. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting. It's a huge help to running the channel. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.